Congratulations, guys.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to all of you, Daksh, Tanmay, Samarth, for this great achievement you have got. क्योंकि कंपटीशन बहुत टफ है और तुमने इतने 99+% से ये क्रैक करे हैं जिपमैट का एग्जाम। और उसके अलावा भी मैक्सिमम लोगों ने तो सारे एग्जाम क्रैक करे हैं ना। तो लॉट ऑफ कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशन फ्रॉम सीएल नोएडा टीम।
So Samarth, Shivika, Daksh, सभी को congratulations from my end and Tanmay too. Right. So at first I would like to know, I have some questions in my mind. मैं अमित सर के साथ भी डिस्कस कर रहा था क्योंकि जो आपके जूनियर्स हैं उनको भी थोड़ा सा स्ट्रैटेजी चाहिए रहती है जिपमैट को लेके, रोहतक को लेके, इंदौर को लेके। So I wanted to know, you have prepared for 1 year and 2 year. So what was your phase during this? Like preparation strategy क्या थी? कौन से सेक्शन को आपने ज्यादा टाइम दिया? कौन से सेक्शन को कम टाइम दिया? मॉक्स को कैसे इफेक्टिवली यूटिलाइज किया? सो यू कैन टेल टू योर जूनियर्स एज वेल। सो एक एक करके स्टार्ट करते हैं। लाइक आई गेस समर्थ, यू शुड स्टार्ट फ्रॉम यू।
Sir, in JIPMAT Indore, I have received a call from I'm Amritsar and I'm Shillong. And
Great.
I also got a PI shortlist from I'm Rohtak. And I have secured 98.5 percentile in JIPMAT with a 100 percentile in DILR section. And
Great.
so, so my preparation strategy was that my verbal ability section was my weakest section. So I thought I should give it more time as compared to my QA and DAI section. And I used to practice reading comprehensions 2 or 3 daily. And I had also developed a reading habit for the past 6, 7 months so that I can have a better grip in verbal ability overall, which helped me to get a good 85 percentile in JIPMAT and a 99 percentile in CUT as well. And as for a QA section, it was very natural to me. So I just used to practice 30, 40 daily QA questions, which helped me to cover every concept I could in the past 2 years. And I would also give mocks, but I would give more time to analyzing those mocks rather than just giving mocks. I would take out my silly mistakes. I would take how much questions I could not attempt, and I would learn those concepts. And with the help of AI, I would practice specific concepts even more so that I can hone them and I not get them wrong. And as for DILR section, my pattern recognition and logical reasoning was good because I was already practicing QA. So it came very natural to me. And there were some topics which I was not the best at. So I practiced them a bit and I got better at them.
Okay, Samarth, that was nice hearing, right? You told specific tips, tricks, and strategies. How did you tackle each and every section? How much time you gave, right? So now I would like to start with Shivika.
Yes, sir. So I've been enrolled with career launch here for almost 2 years. So initially, I struggled a lot with quantitative ability sections. So I made it a point to practice more questions of that section in particular, especially in these topics, which was linear geometry. And I focus on consistency more rather than studying for long hours. And I also attempted many mocks, around 15 to 18 mocks in the past 2, 3 months. This was with my specifics. And I also scored 99.5 percentile in the previous section in JIPMAT. But initially, I did struggle a lot with reading comprehension. So I practiced more of that using, I also took help from ChatGPT for the same. And I believe that staying consistent was the major part of the journey, and that's what everyone should take from all our journeys.
Great. So your maths was good.
So it was not good initially, but yes, I did end up scoring 97 percentile in this one.
So was the workshops at the end was helpful to you?
Yes, sir, I attempted the mock, the assessment test. I also attended all the classes regularly and practiced my these topics. And with special emphasis on geometry, as I mentioned earlier as well. Plus the doubt solving, the doubt support team of PL was really helpful because anytime I would put a message, I would get a reply within 1 or 2 hours.
Great. That's what we tell to our students ना कि जितना हमें तंग करेंगे उतना ही फायदा है। ना, जितना हमें से डाउट पूछेंगे, जितना हम क्लासेस में हम यही डिस्कस जनरली करते हैं कि भाई तो ठीक है, तो आपकी तो 4 आवर की क्लास हो रही है, उसके अलावा आपको जितना जूनियर्स के लिए भी मतलब ये है कि भाई फैकल्टीज को तंग करना चाहिए बार बार कि भैया ये नहीं, और सर ये ऐसे नहीं, वैसे हम ऐसे सोच रहे थे, वैसे क्यों नहीं। तो उससे एक्सपोनेंशियल लर्निंग होती है। व्हाट अबाउट दैट्स, कैन यू थ्रो सम लाइट ऑन योर प्रिपरेशन?
So I scored 99.45 percentile in JIPMAT 2026 exam with a 99.5 percentile in QA and overall 90 plus percentile in all the three subjects.
ग्रेट ग्रेट
But
ग्रेट।
my QA was the best among the three and my VA was a little bit weaker. So I tried to manage all the three together, but little bit more focus on VA. So I did many PYQs and mocks in the last uh, couple of months after my boards exams. And obviously, doubt sessions were also helpful, very, very much, because I used to have lots of doubts in RCs.
Yeah, we remember teaching you. Your QA was really good in the classes and you performed better. पर मतलब VA वाले सेक्शन में तुमने और क्या करा खास?
But I used to read newspapers and certain books which helped in my vocabulary. And I used to select a few bunch of words which I found difficult to remember their meanings and all. So
ग्रेट
that
ग्रेट ग्रेट ग्रेट। तन्मय, हाय।
Hello, sir. So, sir, I
कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशन
was
तन्मय।
enrolled. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Sir, I was enrolled with Career Launcher, I think, from towards my when my class 11th was ending. And throughout my journey, I think out of the QA, LRDI, and VA section used to be a little difficult for me because every exam had a different pattern. So, when I was preparing for Indore, I used to see a different variety of questions. For Rohtak, a different type, and JIPMAT was a totally different type. So I talk to Shivangi ma'am frequently about how I was struggling at certain topics. So I figured out that only by practicing mocks and only by analyzing them would I be able to get better at it. So that's something I did. Then for QA and LRDI, I was majorly strong at, and I also secured 99.2 percentile in JIPMAT. So LRDI was not a very weak point for me. Then coming on to QA was something that used to shift its pattern frequently in JIPMAT. So while I was preparing for JIPMAT, I used to maintain an equal balance between PYQs and mocks by Career Launcher. And I always used to find that the JIPMAT mocks by Career Launcher, they were a bit on a difficult side. So I also frequently, one or two times I used to ask Guru sir also that, sir, are these really difficult or this is the exam pattern? But when I sat in the JIPMAT exam, I also did observe that QA was little off the track as compared to the PYQs. But I think that gap was filled by the mocks that I practiced almost every day towards the end of the exam at Career Launcher's My Zone portal. And sir, I think that was all about it. And one thing that I think really supported me in my JIPMAT journey was how actively I was able to interact with my teachers. Like I would just any question that I was stuck in, I would not give it double thought, and I would just click a picture and send it to Shivangi ma'am or Shasur or even on the group. And I think within 2 or 3 minutes, I used to get a reply back. So I think the support system that Career Launcher provided me did aid my preparation for JIPMAT especially.
Okay, Tanmay, that was nice. Can you tell about your CUT score also?
Sir, I scored a 923.57 out of 1,000, and across accountancy, economics, business studies, and maths, I have 99.5 percentile plus, and for English, I have a 98 percentile.
Great, Tanmay, that's great.
Thank
Great. Talking about mocks, but what we actually do, we make a good mix of difficult mocks as well as easier mocks, क्योंकि वहाँ एग्जाम में क्या आएगा मतलब वी कांट से. So we design our mocks in such a way that few mocks are on the difficulty level side, with higher difficulty level side. Most of the mocks are moderate level. We we do मतलब like of experiments in all the mocks कि एग्जाम में कुछ भी आ सकता है, मतलब आई एम सरप्राइज करता है. तो जितने भी आप आईपी मैट के एग्जाम हैं वो हमेशा हर साल कहीं ना कहीं कुछ ना कुछ सरप्राइज एलिमेंट डालते हैं. दैट्स व्हाट मतलब वी डू इन आवर मॉक्स एज वेल, है ना? तो तभी वो आपको जिपमैट वाला थोड़ा सा हायर साइड में लगा होगा आपको उसका बीए वाला सेक्शन। ग्रेट 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 ग्रेट। सो टेल अस, कितने घंटे पढ़ते थे ये बताओ यार। कितना टाइम तुमने, टाइम मैनेजमेंट कैसे करा? सबसे ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम बच्चों को ये आती है कि सर बोर्ड भी है, ये है। अब ज्यादातर बच्चे टाइम मैनेजमेंट नहीं कर पाते हैं, तो वो या तो बोर्ड में लग जाते हैं पूरा, या इस एग्जाम में लग जाते हैं पूरा, तो एक ना एक जगह कॉम्प्रोमाइज हो जाता है। तो हाउ मच यू स्कोर्ड इन योर बोर्ड एग्जाम?
समर्थ से स्टार्ट करते हैं। समर्थ, शिविका, दक्ष, तन्मय।
I have scored 92.2% in the boards with 95 in applied mathematics and 94 in economics. And my time management was like that. If my school academics exams are near, so I would completely focus on them. And when there was a gap between like pre-boards and half yearly, I would solely go into IPMAT. And I would only focus on the exam which was near, so that I am brushed up with all the concepts which for the exam which I will be giving, and only giving like 10 to 20% of the time to the IPMAT, so that I am brushed up but not fully. I have not forgotten any concepts. This was my way of the time management, and I would usually study for 6 to 7 hours.
ग्रेट ग्रेट। तो मतलब इसमें इतना जो आईपीएमएट वाला के लिए आप कितना पढ़ते थे, मतलब 6 to 7 hours में से?
So on a normal day, usually 3.5 hours to IPMAT and 2.5 to 3 hours to academics, school
हाँ।
academics.
तो तुमने टाइम बांधा हुआ था या क्वेश्चंस बांधे हुए थे कि भाई मैं आज इतने क्वेश्चंस करके सोऊंगा, या तुमने टाइम बांधा हुआ था कि मुझे 3 घंटे बैठना है, 3 घंटे में कितने भी हों?
सर यूजुअली मैं क्वेश्चंस टाइम सेट करता था कि क्वेश्चंस मेरे को 50 क्वेश्चंस मेरे को इतने टाइम में खत्म करने हैं। फॉर एग्जांपल 50 क्वेश्चंस क्यों है मुझे 1.5 आवर्स में खत्म करने हैं।
ग्रेट
वर्बल के 40 क्वेश्चंस 1 आवर या 45 मिनट्स में खत्म करने हैं। सिमिलरली DILR में भी
ग्रेट
उससे एक
ग्रेट।
टाइम बाउंडेड हो जाता था मैं।
नहीं, सबसे बेस्ट टेक्निक है कि इंस्टेड ऑफ बाइंडिंग टाइम वी शुड बाइंड द नंबर ऑफ क्वेश्चंस पर डे, कि उसके हिसाब से मुझे इतने क्वेश्चन करने ही करने हैं। या व्हाट अबाउट यू शिविका, व्हाट वाज योर स्ट्रेटजी, मतलब हाउ यू मैनेज द टाइम?
So starting with, I scored an aggregate of 97.2% in last board examination. And as for my strategy, whenever the exam was near, for example, if school exams were near, I would focus only on them. But I would also keep practicing the class sheets that were given to us in the previous classes, just to stay in touch with the concepts. And instead of doing anything new with regard to IT math, I would focus on the previous concepts or my weaker concepts along with my schoolwork. And when the IT math exam was near, of course, I focused only on that. And my strategy mainly included attempting mock. So like every day after my board exams got over, I practiced one mock, along with a full mock analysis after that, which I dedicated almost 2 hours to the mock analysis as well, where I focused on the questions I missed, the questions I could not attend, and also went through the solutions of the questions I did get right, just to see if I could get a shorter way of solving that question. And every day, almost 7 hours I would dedicate to academics, where 3 hours would be roughly 2.5 hours, 3 hours would be for IT math, and the rest for fieldwork. So even in that, as Samarth also mentioned, I would focus on the number of questions I had to attend. I would set a target, like, for example, if I had to do 2 or 3 section tests one day and go through the solutions or anything of that sort.
ग्रेट 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 ग्रेट। सो तुम्हारा कौन सा स्ट्रॉन्ग एरिया था, मतलब अर्थमेटिक और अलजेब्रा?
Sir, algebra.
अलजेब्रा, ग्रेट।
Yes, sir.
आईपीएमएट में अलजेब्रा आता भी बहुत है। दक्ष, व्हाट अबाउट यू?
So I scored 85% in the science stream. And while the board exams, I was feeling a bit difficult with managing with my boards because physics and chemistry were a bit tough
ऑफ
for
कोर्स,
me. So I used to give majority of my time to the boards, but I used to I used to think कि I will do 10 to 20 questions of each QOLR and BA, so that I don't leave my IPMAT preparation behind. And once the boards were over, I fully prepared for JIPMAT, and I used to study approx 4 to 5 hours after the boards.
ग्रेट Tanmay, what's your take on this? How do you manage your time? You're not audible, but Tanmay, you're not audible.
Sound is very low, Tanmay. No, not audible.
Okay, we will get back to Tanmay again after some time. भाई ये बताओ कितने मॉक तुम लोगों ने लिखे थे टोटल एंड व्हेन यू स्टार्टेड राइटिंग मॉक
So मैं start करूँ?
या
So for Indore, I had written approximately 10 to 15 only. And Rohtak barely 3-4 because the exam papers were not released for the past 3-4 years. So the mocks were not really, I would say, I thought I would writing. And for JIPMAT, 8 to 10 mocks I wrote. But I focused on analyzing those mocks more rather than just attempting more. So
एग्जैक्टली
that was one of my things.
बहुत बढ़िया सो व्हेन यू स्टार्टेड राइटिंग मॉक
So in September 2025, I started. I
इन
was
सब
com hmm,
so
yes.
don't you think it was quite late for starting the mock
Yes, sir, it was, but I think I started decently, and then by the time April ended, I had written almost 10 mocks for Indore and 10 to 10 mocks for JIPMAT. And
great
yeah,
Tanmay hi is
Sir,
your
am I audible now?
everything good at your end
Sir, am I audible?
yes exactly you are audible
Yeah, so sir, I could not answer the previous question as well. I think there was some glitch.
yes
So, sir, firstly, talking about my board examinations, I got a 98.2% with 100 in accountancy and business studies. And talking about how I managed my time, I feel that was the most challenging part because I had to manage boards, CUET, and three different exams for IPMAT. So while board exams were going on, I focused solely on board exams because I knew that CUET would follow. And as soon as the board exams concluded, I divided my day into various portions. For example, when I used to get up in the morning, I devoted 2 hours solely for quantitative aptitude. So after I solved 2 hours, matlab, like around 50 to I think 60 questions of QA for a particular topic that I've chosen for a day, I would leave for coaching. And I think my coaching would end at around 4 p.m. and I would reach home by 4:30. Then I did 2 to 3 hours solely for CUET, and then it was followed by LRDI and VARC. So instead of of a fellow stretch, I divided my day into portions, and I think that is why I was able to perform fairly well in different examinations. And talking about mocks, while till the board examinations, I used to write around one mock for each of Indore, Rohtak, and JIPMAT every week, and also analyze them at different parts of the week. But after board exams concluded and the exams were around the corner, I gave one mock every day for the exam that was about to come. For example, IPMAT Indore, it was in the starting week of May. So I think from 25th of April, I gave regular mocks for IPMAT Indore and similarly for all the other exams.
Great. So, my question now is, well, it has two questions actually. One, what are the quality of mocks you perceived quality of mocks of career launcher? And second, what mistakes you did you now regret कि यार ये ना करता तो और ज्यादा मैं better या कर पाता. So, which mistakes you did during your preparation? So, let's start with Samarth.
Yes, sir. So I think the quality of the mocks were really great. They were different. They were of all different types. They were hard as well. They were easy as well. In IPMAT Indore mocks, I was scoring 150s as well, but 220s as well. The difficulty was really varying, and my percentile was stable, but the score was up and down. This means that the difficulty was different, and I was exposed to many concepts of QA and BA as I gave more and more mocks, which helped me to expand my knowledge. And yeah, that I like the most about the mocks, the quality of the mocks. And the mistakes which I think I made during my preparation, First, which, as you so mentioned, that I started my mocks very late. I think if I had started 4 or 5 months back at the starting of my 12th grade, I could have been done practice more mocks and might have been.
Hello, Samarth, you are not
Yes, sir.
audible. I think, is there a problem at my end or problem is that at my end, I guess.
Hello. Hello, sir. Am I audible? Hello. Hello.
Yes, yes, you are audible.
I'm audible. Okay. Thank you.
So yeah, let us move on to Shivika now.
Yes, sir. First, I believe the mocks of career launcher was really great because they had mocks of all kinds with varying difficulty levels, which gave us quite an exposure to the different types of questions we could expect in the actual exam. And career launcher also conducted quarterly offline mocks, which gave us the real exam feedback. That was the best part of the mock journey. And talking about an experience that I believe I could have uh, given more time to the IGMAT preparation as compared to the board preparation, but I don't think there are any regrets actually, because I did all I could. I did my best.
That's great. Yeah. So who is that? Daksh.
Yes, sir. Sir, the mocks of career launcher were great.
Please speak
Some,
loudly. है थोड़ा सा आवाज थोड़ी प्रॉब्लम है.
sir, the mocks of career launcher were great. Some had harder questions of QA, some had harder questions of VA, but overall they were nice. In the ones which had tough QA, I struggled a bit. I scored less, but overall the mocks were good.
Great, great. Yeah, so congratulations to all of you for your future. Can you give us students last word for career launcher Noida? What's your feedback for career launcher Noida? How you things find here? How the faculties help you? Come on. So we can
Sir,
start with.
So my experience with Career Launch in Noida was great. I enrolled in Career Launch in Noida in 2024 April, 2024 May, and since then I was going to classes regularly and was trying to complete my syllabus. And the teachers were really great. They were helping us to solve the fundamental book as well as the workbook. They were giving us daily targets of which all chapters of the workbook we have to complete so that we are in pace or even ahead of the syllabus so that we can have more time to revise our concepts. And the teachers were really approachable. If I wanted to approach them for some questions in my break time or after the classes or even at the evening, I could approach them and they would help me with my doubts and mentor me. And that was my experience. And I would really recommend to my juniors that they should join there.
Great.
So if I were to speak, my experience with career launcher has been amazing. I was enjoyed with career launch in order for almost 2 years. And I believe that the regular classes really help me build the foundation that is required before attempting any mock or exam. And the system was really approachable. The doubt support was amazing. I would just message any teacher and they would reply with the detailed solutions within 1 or 2 days itself. And one advice that I would like to give my juniors would be to keep going. Because there are times when you attend your first mock, especially, you fall less, you feel disappointed. But then yeah, but then you start again with the journey. And afterwards, when you come back to start to review your JIPMAT preparation. You'll have been scored less, but that's okay. You just have to keep going. Don't give up. And I would definitely recommend career launches with all the teams.
Great. तन्मय,
Right. So, sir, as I mentioned earlier, also I was enrolled for approximately 1.5 years. And I think at Career Launcher, teachers are always ready to hold hands throughout the year, even in the weekdays when there are no classes. So there is no problem when it comes to approaching teachers. And I think there is a 24/7 support system, which strengthens as the exam starts to come around the corner. And if there is one message that I have to give to my juniors would be to trust the teachers over here, not to shift their resources too frequently, because in aptitude exams you tend to think that this resource is better or maybe that coaching is giving a better resource, but if they stick to career launcher, I think they'll be truly acing the exam. And they have to be consistent, because then all that they can do later is repent and regret. So it's better to start early and be consistent.
great. Well, absolutely right. Yeah. Daksh, and
Sir, I
side,
enrolled, sir, I enrolled with Career Launcher in the 12th, and in very less time, the teachers helped me to cope up with my syllabus and everything. The teachers were really helpful in offline and also group discussions. And one advice I would like to give my juniors is to stay vocal and communicative with the faculty. They are really helpful.
rounding note from Purujan.
I think, sir, the students have given very much useful information for each of the juniors which are upcoming and which would be giving the exams. Shivika and Samarth, they themselves had a call from IIM Bangalore as well. And I think Daksh के लिए भी अभी IIM Jammu के लिए he has scored 99.45. तन्मय तो CUT topper, फिर JIPMAT, फिर BMS की कुछ calls हैं उसके पास, Kozhikode, Amritsar and everything. So main चीज यही थी कि the consistency, right? These guys have given mocks, फिर उसके बाद इन्होंने डाउट सेशंस प्रॉपरली अटेंड करे, ठीक है, फिर फैकल्टी से इंटरेक्शन इज समथिंग जो कि था, मतलब ऐसा नहीं कि अपना प्रिपरेशन अलग ही चल रही है इन लोगों की, दे वर लाइक कि ठीक है सर मैं ये कर रहा हूँ, मैं ऐसे कर लूँ, ये कर लूँ. सो दिस वाज समथिंग राइट विच हेल्प देम टू रीच दिस पर्टिकुलर प्लेस, एंड आई विश ऑल द वेरी बेस्ट टू ईच वन ऑफ यू.
Thank you, sir.
All the best, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations for your
Thank
and
you, sir.
congratulations and all the best for your future efforts. तो हम लोगों से कनेक्शन बना के रखें लगातार, फ्यूचर में भी हम लोग बहुत काम आएंगे आपके. एंड जो आपके आई होप आपके जो इंटरव्यू प्रिपरेशंस हैं दोज आर आल्सो गोइंग वेल हियर, है ना. मिलते हैं तुम लोगों से. बाय बाय.
बाय
Thank you,
गाइस,
sir.
ऑल
Thank
द
you.
बेस्ट.